Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much. I think the stage has been set very nicely by Venkat and Jan in terms of the future of mobility, and he covered quite a lot of stuff. We'll take a small portion of what they spoke about, and we are more of executionist, being on the ground, speaking to a lot of drivers, speaking to a lot of customers, and how do we make this really work? How do we make the cities move smarter? They're already moving. When you're in Bangalore, you say that the city is not moving, but how do we kind of enable to move smarter, better, faster? We call this Mobility 3.0. I'll talk about how the mobility as a space is evolving. If you are in a non-mobility space as well, you can think of this as an analogy of how your own space, your own sector could move as well. We have taken the analogy of how internet was evolving as 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0, and how it has been moving as well. Okay, so despite billions of dollars being spent, so much of brain at work, we still believe mobility is broken. If you ask a lot of people here, they will say that, okay, getting around in cities like Bangalore or San Francisco is not easy. The two pillars of that, one is, okay, suppose if you assume that you don't want to drive, private vehicles are not what you want the future to be. There are two parts to it. One is the shared mobility or the ride-hailing, and the other one is the public transport. The ride-hailing or the shared mobility, if you speak to both sides, they don't seem to be happy. We believe that it feels like a necessary evil, right? You want it, but like the way he said, you will have the app, but it's not like you will get it or you'll be happy about the performance. The other side, public transport, in countries like India, infrastructure has been invested by the government, but there is a lack of convenience, connectedness, and the seamlessness as well. So the overall customer experience, putting customer at the center of everything, has been missing as well. What we realized is that if you have to solve it, you'll have to fundamentally rethink. That rethinking cannot happen with one company thinking, but rather a whole ecosystem coming together and solving it. And we believe mobility is fundamentally hyper-local in nature. What I mean by hyper-local is, like, let's say a problem for Karnataka has to be solved with people in Karnataka coming together. A problem in Netherlands can be solved when people in Netherlands come together. Of course, there can be a cross-pollination of ideas and tools, etc., but we fundamentally think it has to be hyper-local in nature. Mobility 1.0 is all about, there was a government control, it was reasonably decentralized, not fully digitized, but we felt that it was not very inclusive. Only a small percentage of the people were using it. 2.0, customers at the center of everything. The balance of power shifted from drivers to the customers, digitized but centrally controlled. Companies like Uber, Lyft, Ola of the world started controlling. Government became a bystander. They were not even actually participating in it. Most importantly, public transport was completely ignored in this phase. Ride-hailings became very popular. It became a necessity. 3.0, like Web 3.0, will get the best of 1.0 and 2.0. It will first digitize, but because A is there, democratization can happen. We believe that the cost of technology will be much, much lower than what it was there in 2.0. It will have to be decentralized. The balance of power has to be both supply and demand together. Transit has to be integrated. Jan spoke about how important public transport is. We cannot ignore public transport if it has to become sustainable. And governments cannot be bystanders. They have to participate in this one because they are the one who are investing hard infrastructure in this, and this is a much, much larger TAM. And our endeavor as moving tech, and Namayatri is one such instance of that, is how do we make 3.0 a reality as well. So what we call it is, like, no longer a single company owns everything. How do we make this a hyper-local initiative? You can move into a quick video. So we have a bunch of such apps. The idea is can we create an AWS or a Shopify for cities, driver communities, driver cooperators, or a local entrepreneur who will do that. So we have a bunch of states that are lined up. We'll pretty soon be live in northern and western part of India as well. How do we make this happen? Essentially, we think that 4 things are super important to make this kind of a model work. Number 1, community. The people who do the real work. All of us are coming up with great technology, great solutions, etc. But ultimately, the guy who is a driver or a customer who is actually spending 12, 14 hours on the road, driving the auto, driving the cab, that guy has to participate. And majority of the earnings of what the customer is paying has to go to the driver. So it's one of the fundamental principle. The supply will have to own this in some form and shape rather than a central entity doing it. That's the exact philosophy of Web 3.0 as well, Mobility 3.0. When the community owns it, the big chunk of ops and marketing is kind of decentralized as well. So this is the first important lever. Second is we'll have to make tech a lot more affordable. It cannot be few companies in only Bay Area can afford this kind of a technology. Can you give a state-of-the-art, highly performant, reliable, AWS quality software at utility pricing? A great example is what UPI has done it in India. We can reduce the cost drastically. India has that advantage of giving fantastic products at an affordable price. And this technology can actually enable not just Indian states and cities, it can actually enable global. Third is, it cannot be operating in silos. We have an example of Chennai One app launched 2 weeks back. Within 2 weeks, without any marketing, it has been doing more than 20,000 trips a single day, all through word of mouth. People who are not traveling in public transport, we are able to convert them to make public transport convenient as well. In a single app, you can bring bus, metro, train, autos, share autos, etc. into a single app as well. A single app where you can bring all modes of transport to plan, book, pay, and track as well. Globally, this is the single app that we have seen. No such apps where planning and transactions have similar as well. Imagine that a city mapper and a Uber coming together and then offering a solution like this. This is, we believe, will be the future for Indian cities as well. So last but not the least, this solution is global ready. As much as we want local solutions like Swadeshi apps, every country wants their own Swadeshi apps. And if we can offer this kind of a technology, which is the India advantage that we have to the global markets, they can offer at whatever scale, they can offer a top-of-the-bill, state-of-the-art technology at a price point which will make a lot of sense as well. As we speak, we are going live in 2 states and 2 countries, Netherlands and Finland, by end of this year with the same technology that is powering our Nammayatri and Odisha Yatri, etc. So we are very excited, and this has been made possible because of the bunch of unions and auto drivers in Bangalore and the fabulous support that has happened from the drivers. Our vision is to create a harmonious community, and a similar kind of innovations and transformation can happen in any other industry as well if we put community and government as well as the businesses together in whatever we are thinking. Thank you so much.